In this short video, we're going to take a look at the value of testing for long triple jump and sprinting. We're going to look at sprint times over 20 meters and also various plyometric tests such as standing long jump and 4 hops and a jump and 4 bounds and a jump. In the process, I'll also talk a little bit about the free lap timing system, as in the past I've shied away from timing 10s, 20 meters and speed over the last 10 meters of the run-up, for example, because it's virtually impossible to do so accurately with a stopwatch. The inspiration for this video came somewhat from a recent trip to a national squad in England long jump and triple jump weekend, where various tests were undertaken with the athletes. You'll have probably seen Jonathan, the group's triple jumper, performing some of the tests as he was invited. One of the key things that you need to realise about testing is that the athletes need to be familiar with the tests, and you as either coach or athlete need to understand their validity and also how the scores that the athletes achieve rank them or will actually benefit enhancing their performance. You don't want to test for the sake of testing, nor test the athletes on activities that they have little familiarity with. The table that's on the screen now shows some of the performances that have been achieved by English athletes over the last few years, and it's interesting to compare Jonathan's performances with these. Standing 4 hops and 4 bounds plus jump tests indicated at a well above average score, and he was hitting marks around the 1740 distance. These should equate to triple jump distance of around 1660, 1670, everything else being equal. This was very encouraging as the tests were taken only 3 to 4 weeks into the training year. I'm going to continue with these tests probably on a monthly basis till after the indoor season at least. However, I'm going to introduce some of my own which will involve a run on, for example 2 bounds or 2 hops and a jump from an 8 to 12 plus stride approach, as this will be more akin to the needs of the event itself, as the athlete has to deal with speed and the transference of speed on contacts, which is quite a contrast with bounds performed from a standing start. Okay, now let's move on to speed testing. Now this is something, as I've alluded to, that I've not surprisingly perhaps done so much of in the past, mainly, as I've indicated, due to the inability to get the exact times that you want. As an assignment for Athletics Weekly, I was able to test a free lap timing system, and yes, I was impressed with it, so much so that I actually bought one for myself. And this has opened up a lot of possibilities now for our training group, and I wonder why I didn't get something similar in the past. We've experimented with timing the final 10 metre section of a run-up, and I'll produce another video at some stage which looks at the performances of our group and compares those to elite athletes. So, the first speed tests that we've done this year were over 20 metres. This suited the time of the training year and the previous training that the group members had been doing, i.e. we've been doing quite a lot of acceleration work. It was also relevant in that I had 20 metre times for both males and females from the squad weekend that I'd attended, so there was a comparator. Now, if you're eagle-eyed, you'll notice that the athletes were running in trainers, which is obviously going to make their times slower. But we're only going to be moving into spikes in the next training phase, and I didn't want to risk injury through wearing spikes too soon and going flat out. Having said that, the free lap timing system provided a great motivator, and it'll be interesting to see how, with a bit of extra speed work and the wearing of spikes, how the athletes compare when we do the next 20 metre testing session. It's important to note that actual sprint times with acceleration may not be as quick for long jumpers as for sprinters, as they don't work so much on sprint start capability and build up slightly more gradually in order to hit the board accurately. That's why I'm going to be particularly interested in 10-metre time to the board, and also potentially in another test, flying 20-metre runs, which will test absolute top end speed. I'm stressing to the athletes at the moment that they are competing against themselves, in that the times and the bounding performances that they achieve are markers for them to improve upon, and they shouldn't always look to others and other performances. Sarah, for example, doesn't score very highly in a standing long jump, for example, yet she's jumped 6 meters 31, nor should we do 1 repetition maximum testing in the weights room would she again score that highly. That's partly because she's not done a lot of weight training, and yet she's jumped 6 meters 31 centimeters. Your test results are personal to you, and that's a very important consideration. Crucially, the tests that you perform also need to be relevant to your event, as I've said. At the end of the day, jumping further or running faster into the board is the key aspect that you need to improve upon. And the tests you do should aid you towards that goal. In another video, I'll look at some of the other ways that you as a coach or an athlete can monitor your performance, for example with plyometric jumping. So as usual, good luck with your training and competition, and do leave any comments you may have in the section below or through my social media. And sounding like a proper YouTuber, do subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon if you'd like to get up-to-date notifications of when videos are posted.